For more great content, hit the subscribe button and ring the bell.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Upcomer YouTube channel. We have another episode of Showstopper for you guys. As always, I'm joined by my co-host Tyler. And Tyler, we have set the precedent of being diverse with our guests on Showstopper. And we've got a very, very, very special guest. Another highly requested one too. So introduce who we've got today, Tyler.
Oh yes, Yinsu. We're just globetrotting into champions. I mean, so the fans asked for us to get SK Rossi on. The Indian fans wanted to see their man on the show. We got him. People asked for Mel from C9 White. We want more women on the show. We got C9 White. And then me and you have both have been seeing the groundswell of people just asking for, not asking, begging for this man, begging this team to be on. The Philippine pride, the Pinoy pride, asking for their man, their favorite musical genre to be on this show. So this week we brought on the one and only, the king of EDM. It's Team Secret's DubsteP.
Thank you guys for having me. What an introduction that was.
Yeah, Tyler always gets to introduce the guest. He loves it. As usual, we got Roast My Tier List coming up, and obviously going into Champions, the one tournament that every Valorant fans care about for the rest of the year. I'm going to show you our tier list on the teams going into Champions. I'm going to show you Tyler's first, and I want to get your opinions on what you think about this. You know, feel free to roast him if you think his list is trash. Don't hold back. But yeah, so this is Tyler's tier list.
Yeah.
Going into
Let me explain first. Let me explain first before you attack me, DubsteP. So, in my opinion, I do think there is a bit of a gap between the 7 EMEA and NA teams plus Vision Strikers, and then a little bit of a gap with everyone else in the tournament. I think Team Secret, you guys, Crew, and VivoKeyed are like the dark horses of champions, where I definitely think you guys could make it into the playoffs given a good group or having, you know, a vault performance. And then I think the C teams are the ones where I've watched their games. I think they're good, but I don't expect them to have, you know, a chance to make it out of groups. Where I do think B tier, I would say S and A. S are my favorites to win champions. I would say those are my 3 picks. A would be also contenders for the trophy. B are my dark horses who I think can make playoffs given the right group. And C are the teams where they could surprise me. I think everyone at Champions coming in is very good. I think like a team like Team Vikings and X10, we haven't seen them in so long. I don't know really what to expect from those guys, but I think overall this is how I feel, you know, a month out, right? Like I'm sure we'll do this tier list again of some other players as we get closer to the event and I'll change my mind. But for right now, I would say this is like my very like early, way too soon, month out ranking of teams.
Yeah, I kind of agree because, you know, everyone who like was or who won a grand final is in S tier, fair, okay, and A are like who was close to beating one of these champions. So I guess putting us in B, it was kind of overwhelming for me, of course, because I wanted to be we always wanted to be the underdogs coming into a match, and we really understand what we're going up against and what tournament we are gonna be in. So it's like it's an honor for us to even get a B right here with Chris.
Really?
So you want me to put you in C tier? So you had no, like you're the.
No, do you know what? I'll show you my list in a second. But I also put you in B, and I also think that your region is really strong.
Yes.
Like I watch a lot of your region. I'm so like I'm sure you're also very heartbroken not being able to attend the last international event. But like we saw Paper X, and when I watched Paper X, I was like, this team is amazing. And then in the back of my mind at the time, I was like, wait, so this is Paper X? Like, how good are Bren?
Yeah.
Like,
and then Paper X didn't make it.
I think you're up
and then
there.
Paper X didn't even make it out of LCQ. It was full sets with John Olsen making it through. So it's like,
I know, right? Everything in Southeast Asia is a flip coin.
Yeah.
Like whoever walks up the best on this day will win the event. Like for me, winning VCT C Challengers, C Challengers 3, winning that over Paper X was was not really telling a lot that we were the best team in Southeast Asia. But for me, it was like who was better on that day, because for me, Team Secret and Paper Rex are like two teams who are really head to head with each other, and I think nobody I would say is better by a gap. So it's like everyone in Southeast Asia is on the same level, I would assume. So I feel like, yeah, if Paper Rex were watching Paper Rex in Berlin before, it was really heartbreaking for us, because we were like, oh, these were the teams they were going up against. They can go head to head with them. They can compete with them. Like, on the back of our minds, you know what we're thinking, right? Like, what if we were there? How would it be for
Yeah.
us? Yeah.
What did you make of their performance? Did you expect them to perform the way they did?
Yes, I think, because especially the match against SMB, I think, yeah, the match against SMB, that was really a close one, and I did not expect it to be that close. I expected SMB to win, but not that close. That was really surprising for me, at least, because as we all know, EMEA and NA, really two giant regions. Really.
Yeah, no, it was surprising for us too. But I think they played like EMEA. Like I feel like they're you guys too. Like I've watched a lot of your VODs and your recent tournaments. But you knew your group, so you knew like who would have been your group, and you watched them play. How far do you think you would have gotten in that group if you did go? Do you think you could have beaten some of those teams?
After seeing F4Q get a map on G2 and Sentinel, I felt like we could have gotten out of the groups. I felt like it would be between us and G2, or between us and Sentinels. That was on what I think. So,
Ooh, I love that. I love
think
that.
that's fair, right? I mean, I think Sentinels, self-proclaimed, had their all played terribly. Dapper said it was the worst tournament of his career. And G2 also, they had a great tournament, but we saw that they didn't even make it out LCQ in the EMEA. So, I mean,
yeah, exactly.
it's kind of a blessing in disguise, though. Like, you've hit all your strats. I mean, obviously, it's a new meta with Fracture and everything, but you still, no one's really gotten that game tape on you that, people know what to expect from most of these teams going into Champions, like Crew, like an Ascend, like Envy now, but no one really has seen, Team Secret play internationally. So you kind of
That's true.
So you have a bit of a, a surprise factor going in.
A bit of a secret.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. I'm so
That's
sorry.
literally why they found Team Secret, just for that joke. They just
Yeah, forgive me. I'll send you my tier list. My tier list looks a bit different, and I would like to explain. And I'm gonna get absolutely murdered. But I would like to explain. I feel like Gambit, the fashion and they won the tournament, the consistency they showed, and the scary ceiling, because like this team improves fast, and they improve so fast between stage 1 and stage 2 and stage 3. Like I'd say they're one of the fastest improving teams, and I've heard about what they're doing in scrims, like some wacky stuff. I heard about them beating everybody. So I think for me, they're the only team I can really say is S tier, because they are the reigning champions. And I believe that they're going to be a good defending champion. I think there's a high chance of them going pretty far. The A tiers, as Tyler put it, like EMEA and NA, like I feel like they have to be in their own tier.
And Vision Strikers. We have to add the champion.
Vision Strikers.
Vision
Vision
Strikers.
Strikers. Yeah, I think you guys, I'm kind of judging you based on what I've seen, from what I've seen in your region, and also from Paper X, because obviously you guys and Paper X, like you said, are quite close. And I thought Paper X and Crew were both amazing at Masters Berlin. So I feel like you guys and Crew are quarterfinalists, upset potential team. Like I see that happening. Unfortunately for me, I just feel like Brazilian teams are still a little bit behind. I think we saw it in Iceland and in Berlin, but I don't know what you think, actually, DubsteP. What do you make of the Brazilian teams?
I think Brazilian teams are, for me, like an 80% N8 style of team, because they're pretty chaotic as well. Like when I saw them play, they have this game style where it's utter chaos. It's like NA in general, like everything is on chaos, and they still manage to pull out this type of gameplay on the world stage at least, because I saw a lot of the games on Berlin last time. It was not really a stomp, but it was still close. So I feel like I really can tell. I wanted to see for myself when we get there.
Yeah, I want to see you guys play against Brazilian teams. I think that'd be interesting. But what do you make of my list? Because it is a little bit different to Tyler's.
Yeah, exactly. It's different except me and my team on B.
Yeah.
So for S here, yeah, no questions asked. Team to beat, defending champions. Also, we want to beat them as well. It's always going to be Gambit, but on A tier, it's really interesting that you put so much team here, especially C9 Blue, despite qualifying for LCQ. Like, it was a late showing for me, but when I saw them play the LCQ, that was really amazing because I felt like they were the strongest team there. No one could beat them there. I mean, they were sent to the lower brackets, but that wasn't enough. Like, I felt like the upper bracket match was a fluke. Then everything went into plan according to their side. So I feel like putting Fnatic there, that was a surprise for me as well.
She hit Fnatic in there. She's just in between the two teams.
Why is that a surprise?
I haven't seen much of Fnatic, but putting them on A tier, I feel like you got a lot of trust, especially on.
I have seen them. I have seen them, and I do trust them for sure. Actually, do you think that Cloud9 Blue are the best NA team, as in they're better than MV and Sentinels?
I still think MV is like the best team right now in NA. I feel like Sentinels had their time, but after losing, a team grows so much. It's either a team grows so much or a team dives deeper into a slump. Like it could go either way. Like losing a tournament wherein you were the defending champions, it could go either way. Because I've seen, if I can mention them, I've seen Astralis lose a lot of tournaments. When they lose a tournament, they come back like so much stronger than the tournament they lost to. So yeah. And
it'd be interesting to see. Yeah,
seeing Thailand on C tier, I
we're going to jump to the juicy part of doing a tier list with you. The tier list of all of the teams that are going to Champions in December. So we have here D, C, B, A, and S. I know the people at home didn't get to see this, but you were really surprised that me and Tyler put you guys as a B tier team. Where would you actually put yourselves if you had to make a list?
Maybe I'd put myself and my team in like C tier because I feel like everyone in the champions, I mean in VCT champions, are not first timers on LAN Valorant like competitive scene. So it will be our first time to compete in a LAN setting. So they would had like an experience beyond us coming into the tournament. But we feel like like you guys said, we have the secret factor as you.
Oh, I mean, I feel like I'm so sad I didn't get to make that joke again, but I feel like you guys not being on LAN, it could play in your favor because nobody knows what to expect. Everyone's going to be like, oh, what do we do? What do we do against this team? I think that's why that Paper X game against SMB was so close, right? Because I don't think maybe SMB were ready for Paper X. But looking at the rest of the tier list, let's just start from the top. Like, who would you put in S? Which teams would you put as your S teams?
I'd put two teams, I think. It should be Gambit and Vision Strikers for me.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Why Vision Strikers? That's interesting.
Because living in Southeast Asia, we scream with them, right? Like, we know what these guys are capable of. Like, when the Masters Berlin started, we thought Vision Strikers would win everything. Because we felt like they lost to the best team, obviously, Gambit. So if Gambit wasn't on their bracket, I felt like they would reach grand finals on that tournament.
Wow. I think a lot of people said it was really unlucky that they had to play Gambit. Like, it could have played anyone else.
Because if I believe I'm correct, Gambit was seed number 2 coming out of the groups, right?
Yeah, they were because
Yeah.
they
Because they
lost
lost
in
to
the
the
group. Yeah.
100 Thieves of North America, baby. Just, another day of work in NA Valorant. Just had to, take care of business.
Oh yeah,
Um,
that icebox of comeback. I will never forget.
Yes.
Oh no! Oh no! Yeah, I have PTSD from that.
11-3, easy.
So Gambit and Vision Strikers are the only S teams for you. So who would you have in?
Yeah.
Who would you have in A?
Probably Sentinels,
Mhm.
Envy,
Mhm.
Ascend, and I think that's all for A tier teams for me.
Ooh, okay. What about B?
Okay, B should be Fnatic, Cloud9 Blue,
Mhm.
Team Liquid, and I think that's all.
Oh, come on, Dubstep. Put yourself in
Yeah.
there. Put yourself in B.
Yeah.
Put yourself in
I
B.
could put you
No,
guys. I could put you guys in B as well. So I mean, you already said you put yourselves in C. Who's going to be in C with you?
So on C tier, it should be Team Secret. Did I say Crew already? Not
Nope.
yet, right? C
No.
Crew would be with us as well. Full Sense, X10, I suppose, and I think Team Vikings. I'd put Team Vikings
Yeah.
there.
Oh wow. Okay. So last you put Crazy Raccoon Furia and Vivo Kid as your D tier.
Yeah, because basically I feel like the Brazilian scene has been lacking a lot despite the two masters we've seen on LAN, and I also feel like the Japanese scene as well is really not growing into what they think they wanted to be, and I feel like one big factor is they have their having your own region as a slot. It feels like it suppresses a lot of development you could make in your team because you're competing with your countrymen. It's so different when you're competing in like a larger region.
I mean, you said you scrim a lot against Vision Strikers. Do you scrim a lot against the Japanese teams as well? What are they like?
We scream not a lot, but maybe let's say 1 or 2 times a week with a Japanese team, and we scream with Crazy Raccoons as well. And
Mhm.
I have to say, like, if I'm gonna be completely honest, I feel like we can take them anytime.
I think that's fair.
You can be
No,
honest.
I
Yeah,
feel
you can
like
definitely be
Southeast
honest.
Asia has kind of proven that they're the strongest Asian region, right? Vision Strikers is the king of Asia. They are the best team in Asia. But I think we saw through LCQ that Southeast Asia is the best Asian region just because you do have teams from Thailand, the Philippines, Singapore, Vietnam, like all these different countries with all these different kind of styles is something where it's like, it's a war of attrition in Southeast Asia because
Yeah.
because you have to play against all these different styles, all the best teams from all these different countries. And Southeast Asia loves Valorant. That's another big thing that people don't really talk about is that in all these countries like Thailand, Philippines, Vietnam, the game is popping off in popularity. So you're getting a lot of players, a lot of teams, and you have to beat the best of Vietnam, the best of Philippines, the best of Singapore to make it to, these Masters events. So I think DubsteP's correct where it's a thing where in Brazil you're playing against Brazilian teams, and I think Brazil is an amazing region overall, and I think in the next few years they're going to step up. But I think it's a valid point to say I think they're like 3-15 or like 4-15 in terms of like maps in the first two Masters tournaments, and they get 3 seeds, right? Or like they got 2 seeds plus the LCQ seed for beating Latin America, and it's the thing is where this is a tournament where I agree with Dubstep where Brazil needs to get one team to do something. Like they need at least like a Vikings or Vivo Kid or a Fury to make semifinals. They need a team to really rally hope and to really show that the region is improving to deserve those 2 direct slots, because we've seen from Southeast Asia, they got 2 direct slots and they're proving with the LCQ and with Paper Rex and with all the success we've seen from them that it's a region that's growing tournament after tournament. So I'm very high on Southeast Asia. Southeast Asia.
Me too. I will say that like I was more impressed with Paper X than I was with the Brazilian
Yes.
teams for both
Yep.
tournaments, which says something in itself. But moving on to the next segment, the Champion Special, we're going to ask you a few questions about the upcoming tournament. Of course, you know, you guys didn't get to participate in the last LAN. It was a tough situation. But going into this one, how ready are you for this tournament? Like, how much preparation have you been doing? What are you kind of hoping to achieve?
I guess we could say like we can only prepare what we can prepare here on Asia. So like scrimming with the Koreans, with the Southeast Asian teams, with the Japanese teams. That is all we can do for now. But we are preparing ourselves when we get to Berlin because we will still be practicing once we get there. And we feel like there will be more adjustments when we come there like before the tournament because I feel like there's so much difference in terms of scrimming an EU team, an NA team, and another regions team. So I feel like the preparation is not over, but we are most definitely ready for it.
I'm excited. I'm very excited.
So obviously, we got to talk about the elephant in the room, or the South Korean wind assassin in the room, so to speak. The Riot tried to nerf Jett, but it's like a smoke away. Oh yeah, Jett. Until you take her dash away, she's not going anywhere. And obviously, I think Riot likes Jett. I think that Jett, is exciting, and you have ace players who play them like yourself. And I think, as always, going into the end year event, it's going to be a battle of the Jetts. Almost every team runs a Jett main. You and Team Secret, included in that, and lots of Jetts from around the world coming. Who are you most excited to play? Give us 3 Jett players that you're excited to play against when you go to Berlin.
I'll start with the last one. So third one for me should be Heat from Brazil. I've seen him play. Like he was definitely crazy, and that was one of the things that I like about the Jett mains of how crazy you can be on the agent, because it's an agent like literally built to be crazy around it. Like you can play. Jett has a lot of play styles. For me, it's not only one, it's not only two. There can be different styles of Jett. It's like comparing Ten's Jett and Ye's Jett. Like it's 2 different Jetts, and both play styles work for me. But yeah, it only boils down on how are you going to play like the Jett role, because a lot of Jett players right now, they play the operator role. But I've seen Ye. He's more of a rifler. If you ask me, he's not like the most fancy or the explosive operator type of player, but he's getting his rifling so much impact in his team. So for the second list, it should be for me Tens, because that's what the Filipino fans wanted. When I googled myself in, I don't know if this is weird or not. I searched myself on YouTube, so I put DubsteP, Team Secret. Then immediately I saw the first query that it shows, like the suggested search, it said versus Tens. And I'm like, who's searching for this?
Is there any like leaked scrims I can watch of Tens versus DubsteP?
Yeah.
There's nothing happened yet.
They want to make it happen. They want to make it happen.
All right, who's number 1 then?
CNED for me, because
of course.
he was the person. He was the reason behind why I wanted to play Jett in the first place.
That's awesome.
Because I entered the scene like 3 months late upon Valorant's release. So I had no choice for a role. Our team was already established then. I was like one of the 5th newest members. So the role I have to fill was a Sentinel. So I was about to play Cypher and Killjoy. And apparently, after 1 or 2 months, my coach wanted me to switch roles, and he said, "Since you were holding an op on CS, why don't you play Jett on this game? Let's give it a try." So after that, I played Jett from that point up to now.
Did you watch a lot of CNEDs, Jett, at the time?
Yeah, actually, I watch Ascend on their early days as well, and I felt like CNED was one of the inspirations of why I wanted to play Jett, like how I used to play it right now. Like if I play with him, I'd probably see. I mean, he'd probably see so much similarity on how he plays.
Oh,
That's so cool.
I mean, that's what we need in the scene. More CNEDs. I'm never gonna say no to having more CNEDs in the scene. And to be fair, like with the way that the seedings worked for Berlin, there's a pretty good chance you might be in his group.
Yeah.
There is, like, I wouldn't be surprised if you are in a Sen's group.
That would be really fun, and that would be what I would be personally looking towards.
I definitely want that to happen as well. So, I mean, with that in mind, would you say that Ascend is the team that you want to play against the most, or are there other teams you want to play against more than Ascend?
I guess I wouldn't say Ascend would be the team I want to play the most, because it's always the defending champions you wanted to play the most, because you wanted to see how much you can go against them in a match. So it feels like for me it's always going to be who is the defending champion. So it's going to be Gambit for me.
I'm looking forward to that. I hope you do get. I mean, I want you to face EMEA teams, because I feel like you guys are really close, the playstyle, to EMEA. So that would be really interesting.
Yeah,
to see.
I mean, Southeast Asia is about imitating another region's playstyle, right? Or whatever the fuck.
You guys are chameleons. That's good. I think that's a good trait to be a chameleon region. I think it's good that.
Yeah.
I think it's good to. I mean, I don't think it's bad to copy if you can copy them damn well. So I think you're doing a great job. And, it's not only you can't play the real champions, 100 Thieves, who beat Gambit. I mean, that would have been really fun.
Anyway, we're talking about the teams that made it, Tyler, not the teams that didn't make it.
Just huffing on that. Huffing on that copium right now. Just huffing like copium.
This is the champions special, Tyler. They're not going champion. We're not going to talk about it.
We'll see you in the off-season special, 100 Thieves.
Yeah.
All right. Something new that is coming to Champions is Fracture, the newest map. But not even the newest map anymore. It's been out for almost 2 months now. You guys have definitely been practicing it. How do you think about Fracture as a map, and how do you think it's going to change the meta going into Champions?
Playing a map like Fracture in a competitive setup, like it's so different, because we scrimmed a lot of teams in it, like a lot of strong teams in it, and we've seen quite the differences they had. There were teams who were playing defending side as an attacker side. There were teams who were giving out sides, doing retake 100%. So it's like it forces you to play on a different play style on how tactical shooter maps are played. So it brings out a new how should I say it, like a new style for tactical shooters to play with. Yeah,
I'm really excited for Fracture. From what I've heard, like teams, it's not like Breeze where everyone's like, oh, let's just ban Breeze, ban Breeze. It feels like teams are wanting to play Fracture. So I'm looking forward to seeing that map come out. But lastly, we're going to move on to our third segment. I wanted to ask you this for a while, because, when the whole Berlin problem happened for you guys when you guys couldn't attend, how did you guys find out this was happening? Like, how did it unfold? How did that affect you?
We've got a call, I think, from Riot. They were saying like the travel window is closing, and if you guys didn't still have your visas by this time, you won't be able to go to Masters Berlin. And we understood that, but it was also a discrepancy on our part, because we felt like we could have processed our visa sooner. And the only reason why we couldn't come is because we processed our visa like 2 to 3 days late. I think that was the reason.
Dang.
So moving forward, it was okay for us, and we received a new opportunity. Like we received a new opportunity on going to VCT Champions, and on top of that, we are going on a different banner, which is internationally recognized. It's Team Secret, and I'm glad, like, everything bad that happened, like, there was still a rainbow at the end of the road. And it feels like things will start to change from here, and as everyone say, like on every bad days there will be good days somewhere.
That's a really good approach for a really bad situation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, hey, that rainbow's leading you to seeing it in 10, so it's not that bad of a rainbow, right? And let me let's be
Yeah.
straight. Is I think 10 years from now, people are gonna have a hard time remembering the winner of Masters Reykjavik or Masters Berlin, but people are gonna remember who does well at the first ever World Championship. So I think this is your big
Yeah.
opportunity, right? So obviously, you guys had the issues of not being able to go, and then Bren Esports, and then a day later, it's like, oh yeah, we've signed with Team Secret. How did that come? How did that come out? Were you supposed to be Team Secret at Berlin if you were able to, or was it something that was going to come into effect after Berlin if you were able to go?
I guess I could say like we were still going to Masters Berlin as Bren Esports, and there was no changes to that. And after not going to Masters Berlin, it was not because we couldn't go and there was no help. It's not because of that. It's just like how contracts where they expire and everything and such.
Mm.
So we felt like we could look for a new opportunity or something else, because I felt like the local organization is really, how should I put this on the words, like they couldn't support us as how we wanted it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fair. You're a pro
Yeah.
player.
So
It's
yeah. Was that the decision of you and your teammates, or was that kind of a mutual like, oh, we're gonna leave anyway, so let's look for a better opportunity?
I guess it was a decision for me and my teammates, because we all have had the same like contracts and whatnot.
how has it been on Team Secret
Well, like
though? I
yeah.
mean, I think has it been good?
It's pretty great.
Yeah.
Like it was really overwhelming for me. All of these like sponsors and everything. Like I, it is like I should say it should be the second biggest org I've got into, because the first one should be from China. I went to China for Counter Strike. It's Team
Yeah.
Aster, but I wasn't officially announced there, because it was like a 3 to 4 month team. It was on when the pandemic started.
Yeah.
I was still playing CS, and after that, that's when I moved on to Valorant. So yeah, being in Team Secret right now, it feels overwhelming for me. And ever since we've gone into Secret, we got like so much attention, and it's really it got me off guard. Like everyone was noticing us, even you guys are noticing us.
Of course we're gonna notice you guys. You guys deserve it. You deserve it. Being like Tyler said, you're one of 16 teams to attend the first ever champion. So I think you would have had notice. People would have noticed you no matter which org you were under. But of course, like you said, Team Secret is a big name. Speaking of names, I have to ask you, why dubstep? It's a really like unique name. And are you really into dubstep? If so, like, who is your favorite?
I think the time that I was into dubstep has been long gone for me, because I've been. But I don't like I don't like cut it out eventually. Like I don't cut it out on. I didn't say I don't listen to dubstep anymore, but I'm not into it as much as I did when I grabbed the name.
Is that why it's the name? Because you really used to like dubstep?
Okay, I'll tell you the story, I guess.
Okay. Tell us the tale.
Back 6 years ago, I first started my competitive Counter-Strike tournament. So I didn't have a name. When I was warming up, I was using songs such as dubstep songs to fire me up mentally. So when I was playing the deathmatch, I had that on my background. So I was playing deathmatch, listening to dubstep in the background. So I felt like, what is this genre? I feel like this genre builds into me. Like it helps me warm up. So I felt like I had the need to use it. I searched for it, and yeah, that's it. That's the only.
I'm so glad it wasn't like country music, and you just end up being like heavy metal.
Wait, so what's your favorite?
Dubstep sounds a lot
What's
better.
your favorite musical genre now?
It's kind of hard to say, but I should say Japanese. Because I fell into the rabbit hole, as they say. It's I'm into VTubers, like virtual, virtual.
That's
YouTuber.
really cool.
Yeah.
Wait, is it
Asuna's into anime? I'm into VTubers.
Wait, so do we need? Are you gonna evolve into VTube? Is that your next name?
Really.
Is that your next ID? If you win champions, you evolve into VTube, your next form.
That would be funny.
Yeah, I guess going into why I was into VTubing, because I felt like watching them gave me so much mental reset for me, because I got stressed in a lot of games, especially what happened to Masters Berlin. It was really stressful, and I felt like my career was falling down into pieces. I felt like, we could have had the chance to qualify to champions in our hands, but all we did was watch and we qualified to champions. Then we felt like we didn't actually deserve qualifying. And for me, I was really unsatisfied on how we qualified to champions right now, because all we did was watch and we qualified to champions. Then it really felt bad for me.
I mean, imagine how Fnatic feel. They qualified because Gambit won.
100 Thieves would have. I mean, that NV match changed a lot of careers there. That changed a lot of.
That was the
a lot of careers
there. It was
there.
a crazy tournament. But yeah, Tyler, I'll let you sign off with the last question.
Our final question, and I think I asked this to SK Rossi. I like to ask this to kind of players from these, kind of overlooked regions when we talk about EMEA and NA. Those are the big two, but Southeast Asia and especially the Philippines are just ravenous when it comes to, Valorant and esports in general. I'm going to pull the curtain back a little bit. The Philippines is one of the most, when it comes to consuming upcomer content, YouTube and on the website, Philippines are in the top 10. Like, Philippines really are one of our biggest readerships and viewerships in all of the content we do. So they are fanatical about you and the team. And how does it feel to have the entire nation behind you? Basically, you are the Philippines national team going into the World Championship. How do you feel going and representing, all the Philippines fans? And what do you want to say to the fans out there?
It's really an honor for us to be representing not only the Philippines, but the Southeast Asia region as a whole. And because this was a historical event for Philippine FPS, it's actually the first time for a full 5 Filipino squad to be going on a world stage on FPS. Like, that was really a thing I couldn't believe myself. So seeing the support from the Filipino fans is crazy. How Filipinos are into esports so much. Like, they love Tens, they love all these streaming superstars, also the competitive superstars. I feel like when they support me, I get the same recognition as the other players, like what I've mentioned. So I feel like I always tell them I'm super thankful. It doesn't show, but I always tell them I make content and I make vlogs. As per se, I make vlogs, so it's my way of thanking them and showing to them what my eyes could see and what they couldn't see behind the games. So it's always an honor for me to represent not only just the country but also the people.
I can't wait to see your champions vlog.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
When I upload the vlogs, though, I usually have the subtitles late. So I'm sorry if it'll be in Filipino, but there will be subtitles soon, don't worry.
It's okay. I'll wait. I can wait. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much, DubsteP, for joining us. It's been a pleasure. We cannot wait to see your Jett battle in Champions. It's going to be really, really interesting for sure. Thank you to Tyler as well, as always. If you guys enjoyed this episode, give us a like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next week.